Good morning, grandkids. We are leaving the house today. Inigo, I cannot seem to get you to talk anymore about Langley. And I want to know if he is still part of our lives or not. I don't know how to get you to talk about him. Do you just want to forget about him or what? But I want to know what's going on. He didn't like me at all. I want to go back up to Langley's house, see if he's there, see if he has anything to say. Okay? And I want to go now. Yep, this is the place. There's that stupid bird nest out there on that pole I had to go out and get. And I really didn't have to do it. Took them all back to him and I really didn't want them. I could have smacked him in the face. Well, it's not locked. Can we just walk in? I'm going to.
Come in, come in. Good to see you, Langley.
There he is.
Inigo, I've been thinking, when you're not out adventuring with your friend, where do you stay? I have a place in Riften. It is a bit cramped, but it is dry, and it often smells interesting.
A jail
well,
cell.
If you ever want to come and stay with me, you're more than welcome.
Hey!
It could be beneficial to our cause.
What cause?
That is very kind of you, but I do not wish to intrude. You wouldn't be intruding at all. If you decide to move in, I'll make you a sleeping area. There's no shortage of timber around here.
Oh, no, you
Thank
don't.
you for the offer. I will certainly consider it.
You better
Good.
not.
I'll consider making some renovations then. Mm-hmm.
Tell me about your prophecy. Hey, that's new.
I will tell you what I know.
What is the prophecy exactly? And I want to know in detail about the information Langley shared with you.
Okay, the Inigo Prophecy. Somewhere out there in the world, there is a very nasty being gathering its strength.
Uh-oh.
If left unchecked, it will grow until its evil influence burns away all that is good in this world. It has appeared in Langley's dreams for many years.
In Langley's dreams.
Often as a gigantic figure striding through the land, leaving nothing but pain, anguish, and death in its wake. He calls it the Doom Strider.
Maybe
In
he's
the
just
same
putting you
dream,
on.
He sometimes sees a handsome blue Khajiit defeat the menace with his help. He calls this fellow the Champion.
That's you, my man.
That is me, my friend. Much of Langley's prophecy is hazy.
I'll bet.
And he says that sometimes his dreams show more than one possible outcome.
Oh, great.
But now he and I have finally met. He believes we stand a good chance of preventing much suffering.
Well, we haven't seen him for a long time. And there hasn't been any Doom Strider. How do you know his dreams are real? He could just be putting you on. And he wants you to come and live here. Would you really leave me, Inigo? I want to know more details about the information Langley shared with you.
What details can I help you with?
Whatever he said. What about the books Langley gave you?
They are called In Search of a Champion and Da Vinci's Journal. My father wrote the journal, and Langley wrote In Search of a Champion. Langley's books contain the story of his search for me, and a few tales about Fergus and I.
I didn't know you
The
had
journal
such
is
books.
my father's personal account of our upbringing. In my opinion, the books are informative and quite moving.
How come you've never read them to me? What have you learned about your past from them that you haven't told me already when I asked you? What can you tell me about the Doomstrider?
Not much, I'm afraid. Langley is the man to ask about that. All I know is that I am destined to fight whatever or whoever it is.
He probably won't tell
I hope
me.
you will be at my side when the time comes, my friend.
Well, thanks for mentioning me. What have you learned about your past from those books?
Like all Khajiit, my physical characteristics were probably determined by the moons at my birth. I seem to be the product of a very rare celestial alignment that only occurs briefly, every few hundred years or so.
Cool.
In the backward village where I was born, a blue child was seen as a bad moon omen.
A bad one?
I would have been sacrificed if my birth mother had not smuggled Fergus and I away.
Well, I'm glad she did. Was Fergus in danger too?
We were not identical, but we were twins. Perhaps his life was forfeit by association.
Aw.
Whatever the case, I like to think that my birth mother could not bear the idea of separating us.
That was good. If he was your twin, why wasn't he blue?
I can only guess that there was enough time between our births for the moons to shift.
That could
Langley
be.
thinks the alignment that produced me may only last for a few moments. I am incredibly unique, my friend.
Yes, you are, Inigo. Can I ask you something else?
What would you like to know?
Anything. What happens next? You really didn't answer me when I asked for the details about the information Langley shared with you. But what happens next?
We wait for Langley to receive more information either from his sources or his dreams. When he hears something new, he will let us know.
Well, he hasn't in all this time. How will he contact us?
He will use the summon spell to vibrate my mind again. My mind is not looking forward to it.
Is that what happened when we met him before? I don't even remember. It's been so long. I want to go over there and talk to Langley.
All set?
No.
What is it?
So, had any good visions lately?
Yes. Let's see. I saw you at a fancy party. You aren't going to be there for long, but I think you're going to leave quite an impression. If you go, don't drink too much, and you may want to watch out for trolls.
I don't drink.
If you must.
I want to know all of this. I'd like to know more about this prophecy of yours.
The Inigo Prophecy. Yes. What do you want to know?
Anything. Tell me everything.
Oh dear, I don't have time for that. Inigo knows a fair bit, and you have those books I gave him. If
I haven't
you
even
know
seen
how to
them.
Read, you look fairly learned, but appearances can be deceptive.
Oh, you're always so
If
sarcastic.
you want someone to explain information to you that you already have written down, ask Inigo.
Tell me about this Doomstrider.
I'm horrified by how little I actually know on the subject. I think it's a human, or at least I believe it walks in a human form. My dreams and visions are often metaphorical, so it's hard to discern exactly what it is, or the nature of the destruction it'll bring.
What does the Doomstrider look like in your dreams?
There are two dreams. In both, I see a towering, dead-minded, red-eyed monstrosity walking the world, leaving sorrow, death, and despair in its wake. The very gods are powerless to intervene. In one vision, I see them watch in horror as Nirn decays and rots.
Good grief. How did you determine that this involves an Inigo? What happens in your other vision?
That one is a little better. It starts out in much the same way, but this time the champion is there to stop the Doomstrider. I see a baby blue Khajiit elude death before his first birthday. I see him grow into a great warrior. I see him and I talking in earnest, and I see the gods rejoice as he defeats the demon.
So when is this talk between the two of you going to take place? Is that what happened at the table a long time ago that neither one of you will tell me about? Your vision of the Doomstrider is metaphorical?
Yes, I hope so. I'm inclined to believe that the images I see are not
I
literal.
hope not.
The destruction I witness could be my mind's way of translating any great catastrophe.
That's true.
Perhaps the Doomstrider is an evil man who gains great power. Perhaps it's not a man at all. Maybe it represents famine or disease, or even a wicked idea that infects every mind it touches. That said, considering Inigo is the champion, and his skill set revolves around killing, I think it is more likely that the Doomstrider has a corporeal form.
Oh man, I am not getting the kind of information that I need though. In your vision, how does Inigo defeat the Doomstrider?
That is unclear to me. Perhaps
Sure.
now Inigo and I are known to one another, my dreams will offer up a clearer picture. I'll be sure to keep him posted.
When? Can I ask you something else?
I suppose.
I want to know more about you.
I'm an intelligent and very complex man. Try being more specific.
What do you do here?
I write and I experiment. I research and observe. I spend my days mapping out theories and ideas that strengthen humanity's intellectual grasp.
Oh,
I
yeah?
may not be very well known here, but my studies have earned me good standing among certain more rational factions of society.
And who might they be? And how do you get this information out to the people? When did you start receiving visions? It must have been a long time ago, because it's been a long time since you got in touch with Inigo.
When I was very young, after I managed to convince people they were real, my father called them a gift. Most of the time, they're a bloody curse. For instance, I knew my mother was going to leave my father before she did.
Well, that wouldn't be
It's
hard
for
to
a
know.
9-year-old to know what to do with that information.
Tell me about your past.
I'm a native of Skyrim, but I moved to Cyrodiil in my teens. I had a talent for magic, and I was packed off to the Imperial City on an apprenticeship. I never joined a guild or anything. I received my training from an angry little man called Barton Barrius. Bit of a pyromaniac, but a decent sort really. He never used his powers against humans, wouldn't hear of it, but he enjoyed burning everything else.
Oh, wow.
Anyway, he taught me a great deal about destruction magic, alchemy, and even how to hone my visions.
Uh-huh.
He imbued in me a thirst for knowledge, and I soon began researching a variety of subjects outside the discipline of magic. When I returned to Skyrim, I traveled the hells, making gold by predicting the weather for farmers and such. But my main focus soon became science.
Now here's a stupid question. I thought I was more intelligent than that. What is science?
It's like magic, but more reliable. It's all about systematically building knowledge and collecting testable explanations. In short, it is the study of everything.
And it's speculation. They don't have facts, usually. Alright. When and how are you going to get in touch with Inigo again, if ever? Are we supposed to do anything before you'll send him any vibrations to his brain?
Farewell.
Something on your mind?
Yeah, I'd like to look at your books.
Okay.
He looks a little worried. There it is. How did he read to me? How did I get him to read to me once? We're going back home. Tell me about your prophecy that you know about.
I will tell you what I know.
I want to know some details about the information Langley shared with you. You haven't told me that. Tell me about Langley. How did you meet up with him?
He is interesting.
That is not enough. Tell me about his search for you.
Ever since I appeared in his dreams, he has been looking for me. All he knew in the beginning was that the champion was Khajiit, avoided death at an early age, and had blue fur. He finally heard about a remote village among the shifting sands of Elsweyr that ritualistically sacrifices any child born among their number whose fur is blue. He deduced that the champion was likely a blue child from this village that somehow escaped their fate. He set off in search of the village, but on the way he found Riverhold and heard about me. This was a few years after Fergus and I left to find our fortune though, so he began tracking us. Along the way he heard tales about my brother and I. He even collected mementos from our endeavors. You can see a few of them over there on those shelves by the chest. After finding Fergus, lying among the remains of our camp, he lost track of me. The years went by, and he grew weary. He eventually returned here, and employed a group of adventurers to continue the search for me, and to look for any signs of the Doomstrider. He also paid a conjuration mage to concoct a summon Inigo spell. My mind vibrations were the result of him trying unsuccessfully to use the spell.
So...
If you need anything else,
said
just
he had
ask.
Mementos.
Really mash it up. Keep mashing things up. Mash stuff up.
What's he muttering about? Where's he got mementos? I know he's got lots of pictures of you and himself and evidently the Doomstrider. Sorry, Langley. I'm pissed. He doesn't have any particular books. And these surely are not the Mementos. What's this? Oh, it's not going to let me even know what it is or be able to pick it up. Great. So there is nothing else. So I guess we have to leave and still wait for Inigo to get some vibration again, for him to contact him. How do I get Inigo to read to me? Alright, let's go home. I'm thankful that you didn't agree to move in with him, Inigo. But you came pretty close. So, Langley wants you to move in with him.
Yes, when we are not adventuring together, of course. Do you think it would be a wise move?
No. I don't think moving in with Langley is a good idea. You live with me, Inigo, and you can't live with him in between our adventuring. We're always adventuring, or we're always at home talking. You don't belong with Langley. I don't think it's a good idea.
You are probably right. Things are fine the way they are.
Yes, they are. I need you to do something.
What would you have me do? How can I help you, my friend? You're the boss. Good idea. Whatever you say.
No.
Fair enough. Moving out.
Sit.
Something on your mind?
What would you have me do? Yes?
It will be done.
Now.
Do you want something or not?
Yes, my friend.
I don't want you to read Inigo the Brave. I just want you to read me one of those other books. Any thoughts?
I'm thinking you are a good friend.
Thank you.
Go ahead, ask away.
I wish I could tell him to follow a bit closer instead of farther. Let's talk about talking.
Okay.
want to ask you something else.
Fire away.
Tell me about yourself. Well, you've done that
I'm
before.
not the best judge of character. I will let you decide who deserves to die.
Oh, thanks. Put it off on me. Well, sometimes you wade in ahead of me and kill. You don't leave it up to me always.
Okay.
Tell me more about your past.
My brother and I never knew our real parents.
Yeah, you
we
told
were
me
found
that.
abandoned in a smelly shack by a soldier on his way to battle. We melted his heart with our fuzzy little faces, and he carried us to the nearest town. He deposited us at an orphanage, and that is where we spent most of our childhood.
Well, I'm really disappointed that I can't get you to talk to me about things I want you to talk to me about. Are we going to have to wait
I wish my brother could have met you. You would have liked each other.
I'm sure we would have, seeing as he's your brother. I wish we didn't have to wait forever to find out what Langley's going to want of you.
We should rest while we can. We have to keep our strength up.
Yes, I know. Inigo, we're going to rest. And then, at a later time...
We may have regrets, my friend, but we also have our lives and time to make this world a better place.
Yes, we do. I'm going to read your books myself, since I can't get you to read them to me. Right now...
What is on your mind? I am all ears.
You want to relax here for a bit?
Thank you. Your hospitality is humbling.
God. Alright. You can go about doing whatever you want. I'm going to save it here, grandkids. And when we come back, I'm going to look at those books that Langley said he has, or that he gave Inigo. Since I can't get any way to get Inigo to read them, I shall read them. I guess he'll let me read them. Anyway, that's what we're going to do when we come back. And then, if Langley doesn't get in touch with him, since we've went to see him, we'll just go on adventure somewhere else. So I will see you all when I come back, grandkids. Bye-bye. Did I save this? Well, I did now. Alright, grandkids. I will see you next video. Bye-bye.